Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast.
Our role as the owner is actually to fight for simplicity. It's to get things from complex to simple, and that's our entire responsibility. So I I think about that more and more myself, and it's really it's really challenging. It's it's simple to say that, right? But in practice, if I'm gonna go and let like we apply Elon Musk's rule and let go of an employee or whatever it is, or multiple employees to reduce complexity. Well, now like what happens to all the other process? It's like so much is intertwined that like doing that one action is going to make ripple waves across the organization. And what happens to our clients that we're used to working with so and so? And what happens whenever now I add this much to this person's plate? And it's I think that's why the complexity of it starts in the first place, but also is so hard to remove is that the ripples too. I don't know
Yeah.
what you think and what you see with your clients.
Well, there certainly are ripples when you decomplexify things, and it usually involves people. Not always, but that's a pretty common theme. Is I had two clients today where that was the main topic. I've got people working here who aren't really doing anything.
Mm,
Yeah, maybe that's an overstatement. Nothing, but the idea that I don't want to let them go. This person said we're softies around here. Okay, but is that the purpose of business? And that's an overly complex question. If you can reduce it to, are they contributing in excess of their cost? Yes. Keep them? No. Goodbye. But that's a
yeah,
little bit inhumane.
it probably is. I think it's more so, I don't know, the way that I approach this with my team. And thankfully we've been growing and not having to like cut. But going into working with us, I try to state that change is certain, that your role's never going to be the same here, that you're always going to be challenged to do new things, that you're going to be um, forced to maybe pivot every once in a while. I kind of give the analogy that we're building the plane while we're flying it. Um, and I think that if you find people that have that perspective, they're okay with going from one thing to the next, One time, you know, they're building widgets over here, but then things change because things get more simple in that area and we only need one person there instead of three. Well, now help over here. I mean, I think you can use that as an opportunity as a business owner to promote people, to, reorg people, if you will. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind
Well,
of
that issue that you just talked about, moving people around, is a bit of a complex subject.
maybe it's me as a
Lot
business owner just making it complex.
no, lots of studies show that there. I can't quote them all, but they pay somebody an outrageous amount of money to dig a ditch, then come back the next day and fill it back in for the same amount. Do that a couple of times. Pretty soon they quit coming because they're not
Yeah,
accomplishing anything. And,
right.
and I have to jump back to, I'm correct what I said. Uh, I said letting people go, or I implied this, is inhumane. And what I meant to say, it is not
Yeah,
inhumane.
it's not.
Yeah, I think I said it is. Uh, it's not. And, it's not just that they're going to suffer insult, and I don't mean literally, but, pride or whatever, or even have a tough period of time finding another job. They need to be where they actually are contributors. And you need to protect your company and the people who remain from people who are draining resources without contributing. So just making that clear. Uh,
Yeah.
that doesn't make it easy to let somebody go, but
No, it's there's real, especially in a small business, there's real relationships there, and you were likely hiring the person in the first place because you knew him in some capacity,
right.
but not always. And there's you're a bit closer, and yeah, especially when you're on the field with people, it can be real. Obviously, they've been there for a month or two, it's not as big of a deal, but when they've been there for years with you, it's tough. I mean, I'm talking to somebody right now who's had a couple of office administrators uh, for about a decade. And with AI, he needs them to embrace it, because they need to be more efficient,
Right.
and there's so many different things that AI can support in their administrative roles, but they still want to do data entry. They want to still run the numbers on the spreadsheet. They want to, manually put things into the CRM rather than have it automatically populate. And I mean, what do you do in that? How do you, how do you honor these people that have been there for a decade while also improving and simplifying your business?
Well, that used to be done with a gold watch.
Yeah.
Now maybe a gold
Yeah.
iPad or something like that. No, I mean, that's another part of the complex subject but we have to simplify and have a policy as owners that we're not going to, well, I'm trying to think of the word. We're not going to, I don't want to say parasitic. It's not what I mean. We're not going to tolerate that. We'll have standards, and you meet that they're objective for the most part. And if you don't meet that standard, then you have to go somewhere else. And there are a lot
Yeah.
of people who think that is terrible, absolutely
Yeah, I don't
terrible.
know. I think it's all in how you frame it. I think there's also a way, what I told that guy is, hey, AI is not taking their job. Just like Excel didn't take the office administrator's job. And when was, you would know this, when was Excel first on the scene?
Ooh, but there was VisiCalc before that. There was QuattroPro before that. There were two others, probably four. So I don't know, 90?
90. Okay.
I mean,
So let's just say
yes,
it's 1990, Excel's on the scene. Excel didn't take anybody's job, in my opinion, right? It's the person who knew how to use Excel that took the job away from the person who was doing math on
right,
hand,
right,
or on a calculator or whatever. It's the same way with AI. And I think you tell them like, hey, listen, I'm trying to incorporate AI so that you can move up, right? You don't have to do, basic arithmetic, but you can actually make decisions. You can start to do higher leverage tasks for our company. And ultimately, AI is not taking anybody's job. It's the people who are using AI that are going to take people's job. This is you using this in our company is going to allow you to have a better career. You may be at our company for the rest of your life, but you may not. Things change. And if you go out in the workforce and you know how to implement AI into your daily workflow, you're much more hireable than someone who doesn't use AI at all. So,
right.
yeah, that's how I would approach that conversation.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, it might be there, it might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.